introduce myself and I will introduce Interview Kickstart. Okay. So we are looking for active participation from all of you, so that we also get energy to continue for 1 hour and make sure that we give you a engaging session to all of you. Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Utkarsh. I have been associated with Interview Kickstart for the last 3 years, and I have been actively working for US and now India, uh, especially on the AI side, working with a lot of hiring managers, doing a lot of analysis on which AI skill is prevalent in the market and how tech professionals, especially tech professionals like you, can upskill and make sure they future proof their career. Okay. Uh, what I would like to know from all of you is that what motivated you to join this webinar for today? So, team, can we give access, chat access to everyone so that uh, all the participants here, they can just say in one line why they are here. Cool. In the meanwhile, let me set it up. So Atharv has written he wants to upskill himself. There are people who are saying they are unskilled in AI field. There are people who are saying who are looking to incorporate AI in their application. I think you are at the right place, Shweta. We will be talking about it. There are folks who are AI ML students, people who want to learn more about agentic AI, MCP. Awesome. That's great. So we have one poll for all of you. We just want to understand the knowledge of folks here when it comes to agentic AI. So can we go ahead and launch that poll? Yes. So we want to understand the audience here, where they stand with respect to agentic AI. So you have heard about agentic AI and want to understand everything about it. I have no idea about agentic AI. I joined to understand it from scratch. Are you looking for hands-on experience with agentic AI? Then are you curious about real-world agentic AI use cases? Okay. So these are the options, and I see a lot of you are already participating. Great. Uh, Most of the folks are selecting I have heard about agentic AI and want to understand everything about it. And the I think the silver lining for me is people writing I want hands-on experience with agentic AI. And 25%, 26% of folks are looking for that. So we will be talking about it. But before that, I'll take a couple of minutes to explain you about IK and then just take you through 2 slides on agentic AI before we pass on to Prajwal for the demo and the detailed discussion around agentic AI. Okay. As I said, we will be more enthusiastic if you keep participating in the chat. So please go ahead, write your questions, write any doubts you have, and we'll try to cover as much as possible. Cool. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So today's agenda is divided into 5 parts. First is talking about IK, then second is demystifying the AI buzz. You must have heard a lot about AI, and people have come and uh, written about how AI is going to rule the world and so on. We'll cut through the clutter and try to give you more realistic expectation around AI. Then Prajwal will walk you through the customer support bot which we have developed using agentic AI. And then we'll talk about where we can help you in creating the same bot. right? So whatever you will see in this demo, you can create something similar using low code AI tools. And if you're looking for that hands-on application of agentic AI where you develop end-to-end application, we will be there to help you out. And after that, there will be Q&A. Now, this is what Interview Kickstart is all about. We have trained over 27,000 tech professionals so far, and we were selected as world's top 100 edtech companies by the Time magazine for this year. Okay. And our core focus is uh, tier one product companies. That's where a lot of our learners eventually go and join them. And all of our instructor base is coming from these companies. If you can see, there are a lot of logos here. Thousands of our alumni are working in these companies and many more. Student compensation for last 2 years for India is 63 LPA average and 2 CR was the maximum. Now let me talk about how we are able to drive something like this. See, at Interview Kickstart, as the name suggests, we are a platform for interview preparation. But what our platform also does, and that is bigger than interview preparation, is AI upskilling. We have more students on the AI upskilling side rather than on the interview prep side. But the name has been there for 10 years, so we are still going ahead with the name. Now we have 700 plus instructors from the top hiring companies, and that's how we are able to give excellent results when it comes to transition. Even when it comes to AI ML upskilling, we are working with a lot of folks in the Silicon Valley as well as in India to create those curricula. Now, why we are using the same folks, we were just lucky that we had so many folks on our platform who are from Mank Plus companies. Uh, how they are driving value? Two things. See, no university has the uh, budget to train a model, right? These model training cost can go up to $1 billion. So all that cutting edge research is happening in these companies. Second thing is they have access to a lot of our data, or we do give them data when we are using uh, Meta AI in WhatsApp and so on. So they are getting better with time. And that's where we got that cutting edge that we are able to give you something which is the best in the market and which is the most recent. Now, let me talk about agentic AI. You must have heard a lot of noise around this. Okay. And I am coming from my practical experience. I'll give you that also. But let me talk about how agentic AI is going to disrupt the current development model. See, almost a lot of like the major chunk of development is happening on software as a service companies, right? You must have heard about Salesforce, you must have heard about Oracle, and they employ a big chunk of folks who are creating these SaaS. Even when it comes to service companies where they go and develop uh, model applications which are indigenous to a company, they follow something similar. Okay. Now there is one limitation to this. The limitation is, and even all the working folks you must have seen, there is a different app for HR related things, there is a different app for finance, there is a different app for sales, marketing, and so on. Now, these apps don't talk to each other, or there is limited interaction. This problem was always known. Now, when it comes to agentic AI, how things are getting changed is uh, for that, you need to understand how the SaaS model works. There is a screen in front of you where you can go and see the data. Suppose you are hiring a candidate. There you will see data with respect to who is there in the pipeline, right? How many interviews you have taken, how many people you have rejected, and so on. That is just the UI layer. Most of the effort is going in writing that backend code so as all this data is visible to you, right? Now, what that backend code is doing, it is taking data from some database. And nowadays, database is simply a table where there is a lot of numerical values in most of these cases. So this business logic, the backend logic takes data from there and shows you in the form of UI, right? This is how the current model operates. Now, with agentic AI, what will happen is that the business logic, where most of the effort is going, where all the software engineers are writing the code, that requirement will decrease drastically because there will be AI agents who will do everything. Your UI layer could be simply a chat GPT kind of interface. You will just write what you are looking for. These agents will not only get the data from their own database where they are working, say customer agent, which I have given here, is working on the CRM data, but it can go and talk to the finance agent as well, get the data from there, and it will solve your query. So you don't need to create a lot of dashboards. You don't need to go and search for the data because these agents will do it. And if any of you have used ChatGPT, Claude, etc., to do dashboarding, to create some kind of visuals based on data, you will be able to appreciate it a lot. There, you don't need to do anything. You upload the data set, you tell them what is there in each every row, and it will give you all the results. So this is the magic of agentic AI. These agents will remove the backend logic which has to be written, and that's where the lot of employment is, right? That's where the companies are hiring to write code, test code, and so on. Now, obviously, sounds like something very scary, but don't lose heart. There is a solution to this as well. Now, what will happen is there will be a lot of folks who will be required to implement this logic. Not only for traditional SaaS model where things are in the form of a table, it will be required for places where things are in the form of a image, where things are in the form of a text. So the agent will go get insight from that data and create something beautiful for you. One example I can give is a lot of work is going on currently in the US where they are trying to automate all the prescriptions, all the medical history through an agent. Agent will go through the whole thing and give very targeted answers to the doctor who are sitting at the other end trying to diagnose what has happened to you. Okay. So basically, what is happening here, less people will be required to write the code, but a lot of people will be required to create those agentic AI systems. Okay. And a lot of work is going on, and this is increasing proportionately. The growth here is very fast. Now, these are few of the metrics, and this is initial metrics. This technology is not very old. Okay. We are just stepping into this, and you can see the productivity increase itself is 52%. This is from Freshworks workplace report. People are expecting it will be in multiples of something, could be 2x, 3x, 4x. So one person will do the job of four people. Okay. When the agentic AI ecosystem is more developed, there is all, I'll go back to the previous slide. There is also some work going on where they are going to use data agentic AI for database and UI layer as well. So we don't even know how it is going to evolve, but we do know that this is the next big thing in the market. So with this, I'll stop. I'll pass on the baton to Prajwal. Prajwal is senior applied data scientist at Microsoft. He has also worked with Swiggy and he's building AI agents for dynamic CRM. So over to you, Prajwal, for the demo.
Hey, hi Utkarsh. Thanks a lot
Hi.
for setting the context. So, hi everyone. So, I'm Prajwal. So, let me quickly share my screen. Let me know when you can see it. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Utkarsh. So hi everyone. So this is Prajwal. So currently I'm a applied senior data scientist at Microsoft, and today I'm going to walk you through at a high level, what are AI agents, how are they actually built in today's production scenario, and we're going to walk through a use case of them also. We're going to see how AI agents connect to the rest of the tools and how they are, and we'll see a working demo of it very soon. Right. So I think you all would have heard, right? So all the latest tech CEOs, all the top industry leaders, right? So they're all talking about AI agents, right? So this is going to be the future. So Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, all the top CEOs, all the top thought leaders, they're all going to say, they're all saying that the next big thing is going to be AI, and it's going to create a lot of productivity, it's going to create a lot of opportunity for everyone, right? So does anyone in here know what are AI agents? And so have you heard of them? Do you know what is the AI agent?
So you can raise your hand. We can give you the chance to unmute yourself, and then you can go ahead and answer the question. So, yeah, I see someone has raised their hand. So now you can go ahead, unmute yourself, and give the answer.
Mm, Sir, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you are audible. And please let me know how your name is pronounced. Is it Om
My
or
name is
something?
Om. Om,
Okay.
yes, it's Om.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Om.
Sir, AI agents are like in our the agents which use artificial intelligence. Like for example, if I take Alexa, like that smart device, or which perform the tasks about to achieve some goals. Like if we even take robotic vacuum cleaner, it also may use AI for cleaning the house. It remembers the path chosen to clean the home.
Yeah, that's great. So, so the main part of the AI agent, right, is it's
Yes.
smart, it's autonomous, and also on top of all of this, a true AI agent, it can take decisions by itself, right? So once you give it a task, right, it is able to make the decisions by itself. You don't need multiple human interventions come and check, right? So once you give it the tools and the task, it is able to figure out, okay, I can use these set of tools and then solve the task. So that's what the future is going to be, right? So it's going to be mostly on the AI agent front. And this has been a long journey, right? So from the 2000s, so if you see 2010, 2012, so you have a lot of small models, right? You have like Torch, Threnos, you have a lot of deep learning, machine learning frameworks, right? Where you had image recognition, image classification, right? So you had much, and these were much smaller models. Then, as the time progressed, you had a lot of deep research done by Google DeepMind, Stanford, MIT, IBM, right, on different problem statements, NLP, so sound processing, vision, and over time, so around 2020 is when we first, like, everybody got involved, right? That is the generative AI space, right? That is the Chat GPT, the GPT-3 models, the DALI models, where we can see that, okay, once the models reach a particular scale, you're seeing the really good performance, right? And that's when almost the whole world got introduced to Chat GPT, right? Where it was just a chat box. You could ask it anything, it gives you a reply. Then you take the reply, you copy paste it into your code, then you work with it like that, right? So around 2020, 2022, 2023, you had all these chat applications, right? And now you will see the next today and the next future is going to be agentic applications, right? Where you say, okay, write me this program for this particular thing, solve this particular problem, and then the agent is going to go off, it's going to spin up multiple instances, maybe it's multi-agent, it's going to connect to different tools, and it's going to solve the problem end to end, and it can come back to you with the solution, right? So that is the future, right? And this trend is massively exploding, right? So you have again Jensen Hong, Satya Nadella, Sam Altman, right? So, and the trend of adoption, trend of interest over time is just explosive, right? So everybody wants to get involved in it and learn it and try to implement it for their product statement, right? So you see a lot of the top companies, they're investing in it, so there's a lot of opportunity in this place. So at a high level, right? So like we discussed before, the AI agent, right? What are the main qualities of the AI agent? The main quality, the first one main quality is that it is proactive, right? So once you give it a job, it is able to plan, it's able to assess the situation, and then it's able to proactively take the steps to reach that solution, right? And then also it can adapt, right? So you don't have to write rules for every type of action, right? The model is intelligent enough to know what kind of things to do, and over the time, if it fails, you can give it feedback and it will adjust, right? So it has the autonomy to make those decisions, to make the plan, so that it can achieve its goals, right? And like I said before, it's evolving, right? So previously, if you go to 2 years back, it's all about chatbots, right? So you ask it a question, it gives an answer. So now it's all going to be around agentic solutions, where you give it a problem. I want to, do some research on a topic. Right? You see a lot of deep research products from Google or OpenAI, right? Or Perplexity, right? Now you will also have something like plan my trip, right? And it will go, it will find you all the hotels. It will take a lot of different action and give you, a fully generated report. Right? So it is multi-step, multi-agent, and it's able to plan and assess through it, right? And it's going to transform every industry. So from the healthcare, where it's going to design specific, personalized treatments, to finance, when you want to create personalized investment strategies, right? So every industry is going to start adopting this AI agent, right? Where let's say manufacturing, you want to see how supply chains will get dis- disrupted, e-commerce, right? So basically, every industry is going to be impacted by this, and there's going to be a lot of scope and opportunity in this field. And SaaS also is going to be a huge thing, right? So previously SaaS, you have to go create your own application, do a lot of work, right? So now AI agent is going to simplify the entire thing. It's going to make decisions. So as long as you give it a goal, it's going to make decisions, so that it can quickly reach the goal, and it is going to be, highly optimizable. There's going to be feedback, and based on your feedback, it's going to learn and it's going to solve the problem, right? So now one of the most common scenarios that we see, right, is the customer service, and you will see a lot of the top companies, they're all adopting AI agents in customer service, right, where instead of a human, sitting and resolving those tickets, the AI agent is able to step up and is able to handle those scenarios. You see a lot of top companies like Swiggy, Zomato, they're all investing into the customer support AI agent system, right? And in fact, most companies from a recent survey, about 51% of them are exploring, doing POCs, they're experimenting, and soon, in the next few years, they're all going to start deploying and actually, actively using in production, right? So at a high level, what is the AI architecture, right? So how does it? Does anybody have an idea?
Jignesh, you can unmute yourself. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, like AI agent architect is like when we do write something chat and will work as like as a output what exactly we need. So agentic AI, like we have give them like send them a particular person, it will send the bill the controllable of Gmail and send them another person. Agentic AI.
Yeah. So basically, the AI agent, right? So when you deploy in production, there are basically three pieces, right? One piece is you have the human who gives you the goal and the user. Then you have the AI agent, that is the LLM, right? That is like, let's say, using latest OpenAI or Anthropic model, right? And then one more important layer is the connection, the different tools, right? So now, so you have the normal chatbot which gives you the answer, But the real value of the AI agent is performing actions, right? Connecting to different systems, pulling the data, updating it, performing actions. Now, for this, it needs a connective layer so that it can connect to all the different services, right? So, at a high level, you have the user who gives to instruction to the AI agent. The LLM, the intelligent, will plan. Once it plans, it needs to connect to all the different parts, right? Whether it is your local hard drive, some database, some APIs, right? And then it needs to perform those actions, right? So how do you actually like how does the AI agent actually connect to these tools, right? Let's say you have an API endpoint, you have a database connection, you may have like a Redis store or different tools. Right? So how does it connect? Does anybody have any idea? Yeah.
Uh, yeah, hi, sir. I think that using the MCP, it can interact with other parts in the code.
Cool. So yeah, so in the beginning, right? Let's say 1 year back, 1.5 year back, the way the AI agent connected was not standardized, right? That is, every company, everybody had their own solution as to how the AI agent should talk to the different tools. But that created a lot of problems, right? So that's why we have a new standardized concept called as model context protocol, right? So this is a protocol. So protocol is just a set of rules, right? So it's an open source standard, a set of rules, so that by Anthropic, right? That is an LLM maker, right? So that everybody who is creating a software can follow the same rules and it is interoperable, right? So it is standardized way by which your AI agent can connect to different tools. Let's say you want to connect to some weather application, some other CRM, some database, right? You can use an MCP protocol, so you can standardize it, and then it will connect to it much more easily. Right? So a lot of the top framework providers, everybody already supports the MCP framework, right? So if you see a lot of the companies, right, for example, Zerodha, lot of the top companies, tech companies, they're all releasing their MCP servers. So that like Stripe, so that your so that your AI agent can connect to their application, take actions, make decisions, right? So this is a standardized way by which LLMs can safely integrate with multiple systems in a secure manner, right? And it's universally being adopted, right? So you can think of it like a USB-C port. So you have your computer, you have a USB-C port, right? So from the USB-C port, you can attach any tool you want. You can attach a tube like a small desk lamp, you can attach a fan, or you can put a charger, connect your phone. There's so many things you can attach, you can join, right? And why it is important is there are going to be millions of agents, right? Let's say every company is going to have, you can have a personal agent, and they all need to interact with each other, interact with different tools. And for that to happen, you need a standardized protocol by which these connections will take place, and that is the MCP standard. So how does the MCP standard work at a high level, right? So internally, the MCP system, right, is a wrapper around the API, right, the REST API, but it does a lot more things, right? So at a high level, you have the MCP client and the MCP server, right? The client can be any AI agent, right? So it can be your Claude desktop application, it can be your VS Code editor, it can be cursor editor, right? Or any AI agent that you create, right? So that's your uh, client. Now the MCP server, like a wrapper, like a standardized system from which you connect to different, right? So in the back end, they have an MCP server connect to a database with all the database functions, or an MCP server to the local file system, right? So you can have basically any connection, connect to any different web APIs, or you can have some other prompts that you will run in a standardized way so that any agent can come and talk to it, right? Any authorized agent can come and talk to it, right? So at a high level, what used to happen before is, um, let's say, you want to implement some connection to Slack, or you want to implement a connection to GitHub or Google Drive or any other tool, right? So you have to write your own implementation. You have to code your own implementation to connect to the REST API, write to code for that. Instead of that, now you just download their open source MCP server or their MCP server endpoint. You authenticate and connect to it, and then the rest is automatically handled by the MCP server and the LLM, right? So you don't have to code it and do it yourself, right? So the top companies will release their own MCP server, right? So let's see an example use case, right? So what we're going to work on is a customer service agent, right? So we're going to use the React framework where the LLM will think, right? So it will think, it will plan, and then it will act. And then when it acts, it will look for the tool. Then it will find the tool from the LLM and it will execute the tool and get the result. So for example, you can think of, okay, what is status of my order, right? I want to cancel it. What is the FAQ documents, right? You can do a lot of different things. So for doing that, we're going to work on this customer service system, and this is widely being used, right? So a lot of the top companies, they're adopting and they're building AI agent based customer service support systems, right? Let's see a simple example use case of how it would work, right? So first you have the AI agent itself that is interacting with the user, right? So user will ask you the question, okay, I want this done, something like that. So you have the AI agent. So you can use a lot of frameworks to build it, right? So you have LangGraph, you have Crew AI, you have a lot of different frameworks to build it. And now in the back end, you have your customer data, right? You have your, let's say, company has, let's say, PostgreSQL database, or it can be some CRM, Freshworks CRM, or Google Drive, right? So you have this. Now you want to connect to it. So for that, you use the MCP server. So you can have multiple servers. Let's say you want one server for the order management, right? So you have an MCP order server, one server for serving different help articles, right? FAQ documents. So you have a wiki server, right? And then your AI agent is able to talk to them and then query it, get the result, understand it, plan, take further action, and then respond to the user, right? And this is just one agent. So you can have multiple AI agents, all of them connecting to this MCP server in a standardized way so that you can access the different resources, right? So let's see a quick demo of how it would work, right? So firstly, to create an MCP server, right, it is pretty straightforward, right? So again, MCP is a open source standard, right? So you can use Python, you can use Java, a lot of different frameworks support it, a lot of languages support it. So you can import the library. So there is a method called as fast MCP, right? So that will quickly get you the MCP server. Then you set up a server and you set up a bunch of instructions. Now these instructions help the LLM to understand what the MCP server is. So when the LLM will connect to this MCP server, it tells, okay, what is this server and what capabilities it has. And then you can create your own defined functions, right? So you can basically create one function for searching the wiki. You can create one function for reading the order status, one for updating order. So this is a custom MCP server that we're creating, that we can configure, right? And different companies will release their own MCP server. Let's say had like Google Drive, so how to connect to Google Drive, how to connect Slack or Teams, right? So the company will write their own MCP server and release it for us, so we can connect it, and then the LLM can connect it, it can use it, right? So it will have all the instructions, it will have all the tools inbuilt for us. Now let's look at the AI agent code, right? So to create the AI agent, what we are going to do is we are going to use LangGraph and LangChain, right? So you have again, these two are both interlinked. So basically, you have LangGraph, that is the new one where it creates the AI agent, and then within the LangChain framework, you have the multi-server MCP client, right? So it has the inbuilt method, right? It has support for MCP. So we can come here and quickly configure the MCP server, right? That is, where is the server file? It can be a URL. You can have different authentication methods. So a lot of configurations available. So we can point it to the MCP server. Then after that, we want to create a agent that can plan and act, right? So you have a method called as create react agent. Now this create react agent will understand the problem and then it will understand the tools it has at its disposal, and then solve the solution, right? It finds the solution. So you have from LangGraph, you can use this create React agent method, pass it the model, right? So if you're using here we're using OpenAI model or Claude model, then you pass it the tools from the MCP server, and then it is able to understand what is the problem. It will debug it. I mean, it will plan accordingly, and then use the tool and then respond back, right? So that's how that works at a high level. Cool. So do you have any questions so far? Right. So the idea is now we have run this particular application, right? And we have connected in code to
Prajal,
the
we
yeah,
have one question
yeah, go ahead.
from Panna. Please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Mm, Panna, are you there? You can unmute yourself and ask the question. You raised your hand. You have to unmute yourself before you can ask the question. Okay.
No, I have not raised any question.
Okay, okay. So Mahadev has raised his hand. Mahadev, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear.
So before coming to my AI thing, so as you mentioned, there was a customer and he wanted to interested in looking at the order status or canceling and all. So how it is different than previously we used to have an under the app itself there was options. So one first option is to cancel the order or to check the status and all. So similarly, if we choose that option, automatically it used to do the same operation. So how is AI agent is helping or how it is different than the those previous methodologies?
So that's a good question, right? So previously, what used to happen is, let's say, like you said, there's some predefined option when you start the customer service. Then you select it and gives you the answer, right?
Yeah.
So these are predefined workflows, and these are actually so the way the today if you see the production systems, right, of customer service, they use both AI agent and predefined flows. The
Hmm.
reason it makes sense is, let's say you're asking some standard thing, right? So they have predefined flows where you click it and you say, "Okay, this is what I want, this is what," and when based on the predefined flow, it gets you the result. Now,
Yes.
where the AI agent comes in, now let's say that you want something out of those. Now, what you want is not there in the predefined flow. Then you ask it a question. What happens is it routes to a human agent in the backend, right? And
Okay.
then they will say, "Okay, let me help you with it," and then they will go and help you resolve it, right? So that is where the AI agent will come. So when your predefined flow will fail, the customer support, the AI agent can take your query and then it is able to make its own decisions and try to solve it for you. And even if that fails, then it goes to the human.
Hmm.
So basically, you have predefined workflows where you already know the exact solution and the path, right? So you get the input, you click on it, you get the solution. But let's say there is something that is undefined, right? That is
Hmm.
where the AI agent will come in. So where you give it a question where it has to do multiple things. For example, if you see the deep research, right, from OpenAI or Perplexity, so you get the free, you can use it for free. You can ask it a question and it will go and by itself decide, okay, I have to search for so many things, I have to come back, and then I have to present the result. So similarly, it is the next step. So first step is predefined flows. The next step is AI agents. Then it tries to handle it by itself, and if that fails, it goes to the human customer.
Okay. My second question is, as you mentioned, the agent. So Chat GPT is an agent you consider?
So see, these things are so today, right? What happens is, so internally they do a lot of things. So the way we define it is to keep it simple. The AI agent. So let's say you give it a goal, it's able
Hmm.
to take actions on your behalf to reach that goal, right? So
Okay.
for example, let's say if you see, for example, here in VS Code, right? So VS Code has this agent mode
Hmm.
where, for example, it has ask mode and agent mode, right? So in ask
Correct.
mode, if
Hmm.
I ask it something, it will suggest me the result. right? And then I can copy paste it and I can use it if I want. Versus in agent mode, I will tell you it's a problem. It will go look and then it will fix the code and then it'll run it and make sure that it is working. So the AI agent is end to end, where we limit the human interactions, right? Where we only in the end we will say, okay, is it good or not good? Where the AI agent will take all the actions and make its own plan and execute them.
Before coming to this agent, the whatever
Yeah.
this agent you are using, right? So there was a chat one was there previously. Before coming to the agent, there
Yes.
was only the chat. Git Copilot
Yes.
was there. So that also used to do the same thing. We ask the question, or we copy paste the, or we selection. Based on the
Yes.
selection, if you ask this question, what is the problem, or optimize this code, so it used to answer the same thing. So
Yes.
additionally, now it is agent introduced over there. So
So
how it is
so
different then?
see, it is like an evolution, right? So let's say
Hmm.
you go back like 2 3 years, then or like 1 year, 1.5 year, right? So then you had Chat GPT, where you ask it a question, it gives a response.
Yeah.
Today, what happens? Like within Chat GPT itself, right? So if you see Chat GPT also is like a mini agent where they have added tools to it, right? So it has this like searching internet, like this extended reasoning, image generation. So if you ask it a question, it's able to create a small plan and then search and get you the result, right? So you
Okay.
can implement that also. But the
Hmm.
point of the AI agent is to do the end-to-end automation, right? Like let's
Hmm.
say, uh, like what we see in the VS Code, right? Let's say, for example, if you have used some of the sites like Lovable or something, right? So you can create a new project and then you can say, create me a website, right? And it will do like 50-60% of the basic work, and then you can go and improve it.
Hmm.
So the AI agent is trying to automate a lot more things. And you also have the chat application where it gives you the result, and then you will go and interact with it, and you will, okay, this is correct, this is not correct, and you will pick and paste it. So the
Okay.
chat GPT is a mixture.
So it is a general kind of agent where if you want me to use a particular agent, then it is a kind of a expertise one in
Yeah.
one aspect.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Fine. I'm clear.
Cool. So yeah. So for example, here, right, like I said before, for this demo, right, what we have done, we have created a LangGraph based AI agent, and that AI agent connects to the MCP server, like I showed you, and there we have set up a wiki, right, a small wiki. So we can ask it a bunch of questions, right? Like let's say, like for example, in this company, so tell me about the membership. Okay. Right. So here, if you see, the way it works is first it thinks how to solve it, then it will perform the action, right? So it is actually calling the MCP server, right? So it will call the search wiki function of the MCP server, and then it gets the result, right? That is above 150 rupees. You have some discounts and all of those things, and then it gives the result, right? So the point is that it is able to. So again, so I have not wrote a pre-programmable flow that this is what it should do, right? So it is able to take the question. It is able to understand by itself that I have the wiki to solve the problem, and then it is able to take the action, right? So similarly, let's say I have placed an order, right? So I can come here and run this again. I have coded any instruction that says, okay, if this is, then do this. Right? I just given it, okay, these tools, the question, solve it for me, right? So similarly, what it is doing is, it is okay. It is saying, okay, it needs to get the order details. So it will, yeah. So it needs to get the order details. So what it does is, it goes a read order status method is there. So it will figure out what is the input, right? That is the order number. It will pass the input, and that will run that code, and it will fetch the result. And then it is able to get the answer. From the answer, it is able to say, okay, I have ordered some sushi and California roll. It will take 45 minutes, right? So again, I have not coded it anywhere that says, okay, this is what you should do. it's able to figure out by itself, right? So that is where its ability comes in, where you don't have to code everything. Well, let's say I want to cancel this order, right? So similarly, once I say cancel this order, it will go and figure out, okay, I have a update order status method. Let me go and use that method to update it, and so it'll get cancelled. Now you can have more complex flows, right? So let's see what is the actual order status now. So basically now in the backend, right, the wiki or the actual order data that has got updated. And because of that, when we re-ask it, it is actually cancelled. The point is that I have only created the MCP server and connected to the agent. I have not given it instructions to do this and that, right? So you can connect it to multiple agents, and the agent itself will decide, okay, this is the problem statement. I can use these tools. It will go try these tools and solve it and come back with the result. So it is scalable, and it, a lot of different applications like data processing. A lot of places people are starting to experiment and use it. Cool. So thank you for that. So this was the MCP demo, right? That is, you're going to have a lot of AI agents, and they are going to connect to different tools, and it needs to be done in a scalable and a secure manner. That's why you have the MCP server. Cool. That's all I had from my side. I'll hand it over back to Utkarsh. Thank you. You're on mute, Utkarsh.
Sorry. So thanks, Rajal. Sorry, I was speaking on mute. So we have couple of more slides. We'll go through that and start taking your questions. Okay. In the meanwhile, you can see the team is trying to answer as many questions as possible. So let me finish those slides and then we'll come to the Q&A. Yeah. So there is a poll. Team, can we go ahead, launch that poll for everyone? So based on the demo so far, we just want to know how many of you wants to do hands-on agentic AI course. Okay. Uh, just want to see what you are feeling about the potential so far, right? It's not about our course or anyone else's course. It's about, do you feel that this is going to add value to the work you do, and you really want to learn more about so that you can use it in your job and also in your personal life. Like a lot of you might be doing uh, trading, right? Investing. Zerodha has a MCP server. You can automate the whole thing now. You don't even need to go back and check how your portfolio is looking like. So these are the personal use cases which you can go ahead and automate. Okay. Before that, let me show you what we have so far. Okay. Uh, we have a agentic AI hands-on bootcamp. Now, as the name suggests, this is hands-on. We are not going to give you a lot of theory because, as I showed you earlier, with agents, a lot of coding is not required. And given there are so many tools, it is becoming a plug and play thing rather than someone who is going to code like a machine learning engineer. Even software engineer level of coding is not required. And a lot of you are asking, I'm new to AI ML. Can I do this? Of course, you can do this. Okay. This is something where uh, these generative AI, agentic AI, this have just democratized the whole software as a domain. People who don't even code are now able to create a lot of things. Okay. Let me talk about how these 4 weeks will look like. So in the first week, you will create a basic chatbot. You will have a MVP using Google Firebase Studio. Second week, you will customize and add AI capabilities with agents. We're talking about, right? There will be a lot of agents which can interact with each other, can talk to MCP servers. You saw that how APIs are being replaced by MCP. That will happen in the third week. Okay. And in the fourth week, we will talk about scaling the app, right? How you can finalize and deploy such an app. That will be the fourth week. Now you must be having a lot of question how this will look like. Do I need to get access to the tools? Who will give or do all this? We will take care of everything. Okay. We'll give you access to the tools and you can just go ahead and create. Now this is a hands-on workshop kind of thing. They're not going to teach you and bore you with a lot of theory. In the class, when you come, you start building. We might give you some supplement, foundational material to go through before the class, but this is all about building, creating a project portfolio. Now, how it will look like, there will be foundation material given to you. There are folks who are saying that uh, I don't know Python, we'll give you a Python crash course. People who know at least one language, for them, this will be very easy to learn because Python is one of the easier language to learn. But people who have not done coding, you can also pick up the language fast. Uh, Repeating again, this is a no code, low code application. So you are not going to write huge lines of application. Sunday, there will be the live class. Okay. There will be hands on in the live class where you will build on your own. Then there will be coaching sessions, right? Because there will be a lot of doubts which you have uh, after trying to build on your own, or you might come back and discuss with the instructors. I want to automate this. Is it possible? So those kind of AMA session will be there on alternate weeks. Now, why should you join this? Now, this is my pitch to you people. Why should you do the course? Okay. Now, we have done our benchmarking with companies in the US, with companies in India. You will not find a similar course in both the places. Okay. A hands on AI course where you are creating an app, that is not available. You can go ahead and Google and you will figure out why this is unique. Second thing is there will be live session. We do not believe in recorded things because when you are doing things in the class, then you will learn. Now you will be building along with the instructor, right? That is something which will be more powerful. Now, because you will be building along with the instructor, we have a very small cohorts. Okay, we will just run this with 30 people. We can take 100 people, but that will not give you the learning which you are looking for. So only 30 people in one class, live class. Okay. Now you will get mentorship from Fang Plus instructor. Like you saw Prajwal, you saw his profile, what he has done, right? So those are the instructors who are going to teach you because these people have built those systems. These people have worked with Agentic AI, deployed those solutions. They are going to teach you. So whatever you are learning is something which is you can go and implement in your day job. Okay. Plus, there is a lots of free materials, Python crash course, prompting cheat sheets, templates, and so on, which will help you to go back and do it on your own as well. Okay. Now, course fee, next batch. So the course is 35,000. Only caveat is out of those 30 seats, only 15 are left. 15 we have already filled last week. The next batch is starting on 29th June, and this is the price for people who have attended this webinar. So this is the exclusive price we are giving to you. So if you are interested, go ahead and block your seats. So what we'll do is we'll take the Q&A. Before that, we'll launch a poll for folks who want to uh, talk to our program advisor and want to take this course. Okay. So there is a poll in front of you. You can go ahead and choose whether you want to take this course or not. Second thing is that if you are looking to build your career in the field of AI, we do have more offerings. So if you want to discuss those as well, I'll suggest please go ahead and talk to our program advisor. Even then, you can select yes. Okay. So I see that 5 of you have already selected yes. We'll start with the Q&A. 10 seats left. So please go ahead. You select the option and we will give you a call. Prajit, we can start taking the questions. So if you have any question, you can put it in the chat box or you can raise your hand. We will unmute you and ask the questions.
Yeah, I'm here.
So Nand Kishore has raised his hand. Please go ahead, Nand. You can ask your question.
Yeah, is it audible?
Yes,
Yes.
it is audible.
Hi, Prajwal. Hi, Utkarsh. Yeah. My question is, so can we use this agentic AI like how we use the like ChatGPT and Gemini in daily usage like normal, like I want to plan a trip kind of thing. So ChatGPT, if we ask I want to plan a trip, so it asks further questions. So in agentic AI, whether it takes our data from what we are using and it plans accordingly, or how it does, or how it is different from normal usage.
Yeah, so agentic AI, right? It's like for a particular application,
Okay.
right? Let's say you have a sales AI agent,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So where let's say somebody will send an email,
Okay.
and then the sales AI agent will pick up the email, answer the question, then it will ask the next question, or you try to solve the
Okay.
problem, right?
Okay. It can
So the AI agent is
have
for like a
conversation
particular
with us.
application. So
Okay.
it's like for a particular application. Your chat
Oh,
GPT and all, it's like very generic, right? It
okay.
can do anything. It will search the web and give you.
So it's
The way the
different.
AI agent is, like for one particular application, you'll have like a customer support AI agent, or you'll have like a sales AI agent, and the way you interact will be different. Like for example,
Okay.
you have voice AI agents where it will make a phone call and you can speak to it. So it doesn't
Okay.
have to be only typing. It can be multimodal. The
Okay.
point is, it is towards one goal.
Okay. So my understanding is ChatGPT can use in the normal web, but agentic AI has specific goals. It's an application. It's not usable to each and everyone. So only in the like the fields where we are working, it plays a key role.
Yeah, so it is like meant for one particular solution.
Yeah.
Like for
Okay.
example, within ChatGPT also, now you have something called deep research.
Yes. Yes.
So that is like
Can.
an AI agent, right? So where you will use where you go select the deep research and then you give it a bunch of questions, then it will go and
Okay.
do its research and come back to you with the report.
Okay. Like it is also included in the like normal ChatGPT kind of thing. It
Yeah,
depends upon the how we
but that
apply and what we are
but
using.
basically the point is it is meant for one purpose. So it is
Okay.
designed so that it is meant for one purpose. Like let's say you want to do research, so then you
Okay.
have the deep research agent, right? Then you go select it, then you ask it your like bunch of questions or whatever you want, and then it will go do the research and come back to you with the answer.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thanks. That answered the question.
Yeah.
So now there is Raj. He has raised his hand. Raj, now you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Raj, you have to unmute yourself so that you can ask your question. Okay. Vignesh has raised his hand. Vignesh, can you?
Okay, am
Yes,
I
yes, Raj.
audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible, Raj.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Uh, my question,
You have.
sir, my question is, which are the essential libraries and frameworks are required for this, for learning agentic AI, like LangChain, LangGraph, or
Yeah, so it is very quickly evolving, right? But today, best one to learn is like LangGraph and LangChain. So those are most commonly used.
these are enough to learn this or more anything else?
So there are a lot more tools in Python. You have to understand like prompt engineering and how that how to build the
I
prompts
have
for
a
the agents, all of those things.
yes, yes. So in ChatGPT, I am learn I make a overview of a agentic AI. They cover lot of frameworks and lot of libraries recommend like find data, LangChain, Lang server, and agentic rig and Crew AI. So I am very confused about this. How do I start and which frameworks I choose?
So you can start with LangChain and or like LangGraph. You can start with LangGraph.
LangChain and LangGraph.
Yes, yes, you can start there.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Okay. I think we'll take the last question here. Vignesh, you have raised your hand. Can you please go ahead and ask your question?
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, hi Vignesh.
So this is same question as like Raj Singh, which already he asked. So I just wanted to understand whether it's going to be like fully code or else it's going to be also no code also.
You mean the course, right?
Yeah, in the course. So
Yeah,
we would be
Utkarsh can
going
take
with
that answer.
the coding approach or else like we would be going with the no code tools like maybe an APN or something like that.
Utkarsh, you want to take the question?
Kartika, would you like to take this one?
And what are the tools that would be covered in this course? Maybe I was not in the first part, maybe like for the first 15 minutes. Maybe I could have missed it.
Yes. Could you please repeat your question, Vignesh?
I just want to understand. So, this course, would it be like code based or else like no code tools are available, right? For
Okay.
like N8N or something, JP
Okay.
or
Yeah.
those kind of.
Actually, it is a mix of, I would say it's a hybrid approach. We use low code and no code, low code tools for
Mhm,
creating MVP, like minimum
mhm.
viable product,
Viable product. Okay.
and an end-to-end application, and then enhance it with coding to develop agents, and then adding MCP to it and all those things, and then deploying it. So it will be like zero to production ready application in all these 4 weeks. So that's the thing. But for a detailed curriculum, our program advisor will help you with that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Vignesh.
Thank you, Vignesh. So a lot of you are asking question that you have a use case which you want help to automate. Okay. Now, what I will suggest, and Kartika, Prajwal, you can add to it. Before getting into that, go ahead, do this course, and understand how the whole system works. That will give you more idea about the viability of a bigger project which you want to take, right? Because there is a chance that project might not be viable. We can help you in implementing, but once you have more knowledge about how the whole agentic AI ecosystem work, you will be able to use that knowledge to get things done faster for yourself. If you don't have the knowledge and you come to us with your project directly, it might take a longer time. So, what do you think, Kartika, Prajwal? or people can come directly and we can go ahead and help them in implementing it.
Um, we can do that, Utkarsh, but then if they have enough knowledge in agent building, but our bootcamp gives a very solid foundation, and if they take the bootcamp and from that point onwards, if they come to our mentors, it will be easy for our mentors to guide, and then the success rate would be very high actually. So I would recommend going through the bootcamp first to have a very solid foundations.
Yes, so basically the same thing. We don't want you to get in caught into a problem where later on you realize, oh, this is uh, something which cannot be solved, or the ROI is not making sense for me, the investment and the ROI which I'm getting. So I think basis that you should take the call. Then Raj has a question in the chat: is learning generative AI required for agentic AI? So Raj, see, as Kartika and Prajwal, they have mentioned this is a low code, no code thing. So you don't need to go deeper into the architecture of generative AI or other concepts related to generative AI, reinforcement learning, fine tuning, all those are not required. You must be using ChatGPT, Claude, or anything like that on a day-to-day basis. I think that is enough. And we will be training you on prompt engineering, which is required. Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat. Is there anything? There is one question in the Q&A. How in telecom infrastructure maintenance agentic AI is used? Kartika, Prajwal, would you like to take this one?
Lot of operational activity like billing, payment processing. So basically, the point is that in every industry,
We can't hear your voice properly, Prajwal. Is it
can you
only
hear
for?
me now? Can you hear
Yes.
me
Yes,
now?
now we can.
Yeah. So basically, the point is that in every industry, right, there are a lot of operational activities like this customer service or payment processing, discovery. Like it depends on the industry, and these things can be automated with the AI agents. So whatever operational activities are there, right? So a lot of these things are going to get automated with the AI agents in the coming years.
To add to what Prajwal was saying, as you were very specific about telecom, we can discuss a use case in this one. See, for example, we can have multiple agents that's automating various things. Like, for example, one agent monitoring network signals and detecting the anomalies, and then another one running the diagnostics and then finding out the failures, and then another regular maintenance tickets you can just incorporate, and then something talking to customers. So all these agents could reduce the downtime, and then it can cut the manual overhead in maintaining large scale telecom networks basically. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think that is done. So I think we have come to the end of the presentation. There is one more questions. Questions will keep coming. So let's call this as the last question, and after this, we'll wrap the session. Raj is asking, what is the role of AutoGen in agentic AI?
Hey, yeah. So AutoGen, right, is another agentic framework. So it is like LangGraph. So it is another experimental framework. So LangGraph is its own company. This AutoGen is from Microsoft. So using that also you can build AI agents. The functionality, end of the day, the functionality is same. It is just like an AI agent framework from Microsoft called AutoGen. There might be some small differences, but both are good. But most companies use LangGraph in their production.
Cool. So I think that's all. Thanks a lot, Prajwal, Kartika, for taking time out to help us with this session. People who have filled the form, our team will be reaching out to you to explain you in detail about how agentic AI curriculum will look like, what are the prerequisites, and so on. And if one of you want to discuss more about AI ML career as a machine learning engineer or learning AI ML specific to your job roles like engineering manager, DevOps, and so on, you can always feel free to reach out to us and we'll be there to help you out. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everyone. And thank you, Prajwal, once again for helping us with this session.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Utkarsh. Thank you, Kartika.
Thank you.